Hi. All right, so today we're going to work on shoulder girdle and rib cage area, and really the motivation for me for this workout is I'm feeling a little low. I'm noticing my energy low. I'm feeling a little frustrated and definitely defeated with the closure of the studios and during this time of the pandemic and having to do social distancing, which I am in total support of. It still weighs on me, and so I needed a practice to kind of lighten me up a little bit and feel my body open. My heart is feeling a little hardened, a little frustrated, and so while I want to work the heart itself, in order to do that and to feel kind of that upliftedness, which will show in my posture as well, I need to work the surrounding areas as well. So it's going to be the shoulder girdle, the rib cage in the front and in the back, the muscles under the arms, and a little bit of definitely of the core. So you'll be getting a core workout as well. So let's get going. All right, so the first thing I'd like to do is use a ball. Oh, let me just tell you, you're gonna need a ball, a stretch band, or a bathrobe tie, or a dog leash or anything. And then I have a bolster, but if you have like just a big blanket, something that's a little bit dense, or a big towel, that's perfect too. So the ball is going to go right at the bottom base of the shoulder blade on the inside of the shoulder blade. So I'm not going to take it right along my spine. It's going to run along what's called the medial border of the scapula, or the inner border of the shoulder blade, starting down at the bottom, the inferior angle. I'm going to take this to the wall, actually. So I'm going to come to the wall, and I'm going to put my back against the wall. I'm going to walk my feet about 6 inches away from the wall, reach my arm forward, move my hair out of the way so nothing gets caught, and I'm going to even reach to my elbow, and I'm just going to massage up and down, just rolling up and down. Oh yeah, dissolving the tension or breathing into it, which will help to dissolve the tension. And just another breath or two. And good. You're welcome to stay here longer on your own if you'd like. I'm going to have this go to the other side. So same thing, opposite side. So I'm on the inner border on my left shoulder. And it's the shoulder blade I'm referring to. Shoulder girdle is made up of, and so when we say shoulder, it actually means a lot of places to us body workers and movement people, because the shoulder is the shoulder blade, the actual head of the arm bone that sits into the socket, which lives on the side of the shoulder blade, and the collarbone. So when we think shoulder, we just don't think one kind of localized area like the top of the shoulder. So just kind of a helpful thing to think about when you think shoulder, where do you go? What is your idea of shoulder? Is it the back? Is it the armpit area? Is it the side of the shoulder blade where the rotator cuffs live? For a lot of people, that tends to demonstrate shoulder. All right, so just one more here. Breathing in and out, releasing the back of the shoulder blade as it connects onto the rib cage and onto the spine. Already that feels so much better. Okay, so then we're gonna have a seat, and I'm gonna recommend that you have a seat on your bolster or your towel or pillow, whatever you have. And we're just gonna do some reaches of our arms. So now that we've released the shoulder blade as it attaches onto the back, even if it's just a little bit goes a long way. We're gonna reach our left arm up to the ceiling and reach the shoulder blade up to the ear, like we're on one side, reaching and hiking up, and then bring that down. Bring that arm down and do the other side. Inhale as you reach up. Exhale, bring that down. One more time each side. Inhale and exhale down. I'm not trying to side bend my spine right now. I'm still talking to my shoulder blade as it attaches onto my spine. Now as I reach my left arm up, I'm gonna reach, and then I am gonna add a side bend. And when I'm side bending, notice my arm doesn't keep going. It's really my spine that's side bending, and that's what's helping to open up now more underneath the shoulder. Again, Shoulder is so multi-dimensional in terms of its location, and it's a 360-degree object. It's got an inside, an outside, a bottom side, a top side, and all the different surfaces that touch each other. And then come back up, other side. So I'm reaching first as far as I can, and then I take my body into a gentle side bend. It is important, I feel, to open the body first before we go into big movements and some of the deep spine and core exercises. So this time we're going to side bend again, continuing with our stretching. Reach, opening up that left side rib cage as I reach my left fingertips. I'm not trying to reach my shoulder to my ear. I'm just simply elongating my arm and my armpit, and that's what's opening up that side. And then this time I'm going to turn. So my chest is turning down to look at my right knee while my fingertips are still reaching across the room. I'm still melting down my shoulder and elongating. So now I'm getting a nice big stretch across my back, particularly my lats, and still rotating my spine, and then unwinding into a nice side bend. Yep, I can move a little bit bigger now. That was really nice. Let's go to the other side. So reaching up, side bend. And again, I'm not trying to shrug my shoulder to my ear. I'm just elongating through my arm, letting my rib cage do the rest of the work. And when I feel like I can't go any further, I just breathe in, exhale, and rotate. And as I rotate, I melt both my shoulders and I revolve my rib cage around, continuing to elongate through my fingertips, reaching, reaching, reaching. And then coming back up, dip into the side bend a little bit more if I've got more space, and in fact I do. And then I'm going to come all the way up. I'm going to change the cross of my legs. We're going to do a couple more stretches here. So first thing we're going to do is put our fingertips right on tops of the shoulders, and we're going to circle our elbows forward, up, all the way out. And when your elbows go out, feel your shoulder blades on the back draw towards each other, and then everything pulls down. And forward, up, inhale as you raise and reach, exhale as you go back and down. Two more, inhaling up and reach, exhale back and down. Last one, inhale. Try to touch those elbows together, back and down. Let's go the other way. So I'm going to circle back. So when I go back, I'm really opening up my chest and going up and reach my elbows together and bring them down. And I'm feeling, actually, this requires some shoulder strength and flexibility. And two more like this. Inhale and exhale. One more, inhale and exhale. All right, so we're going to reverse it, but this time, every time our elbows come together, we're going to round the back. And then we're going to reach up into an arch, and then we're going to separate our elbows so we're arching through the whole spine of the upper back and chest. And as I come down, I round my back, bring my elbows to each other. Inhale, lift. Reach, even my eyes, look up, my chin, my chest, everything, and then I come down. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Let's go the other way. So when they're touching, they're round, your head is down, there's just a nice big opening across the back of the body. Then I separate my elbows, I open up my sternum, the tops of my ribs, and I feel the tops of my ribs stretch away from the bottom of my ribs as I reach up and then coming down. Two more, inhale. There's a rhythm here between the rib cage and the shoulders and the neck and head, and we're really synchronizing that rhythm and bring it back into that nice deep curl and good. Rest. Okay, simple but not easy, as my teacher says. Okay, So now you're gonna take your bolster or your pillow towel combo thingy and place it on your mat so that your shoulder blades are right in the center of that. We're gonna continue with that same idea of moving through our spine, but this time the shoulders are not gonna be the influencer, right? It's the rib cage that is the power and the motivator. So I inhale, exhale, and I curl from my rib cage. My shoulders, my elbows, my collarbones, they're staying relatively still. I'm not locking them in place because they move in their own dynamic rhythm to this motion. But the steam engine is the rib cage. And my core, that's really what is moving my rib cage. It's my oblique musculature and my deep transverse abdominis, which is stabilizing and yet allowing for the lengthening. And curl. One more time. Inhale, reaching back. So not hard, just stretchy. Exhale. Curl. All right, so from this position, I would like to have us grab our little stretch band. You're gonna move the bolster out of the way for a moment. We're gonna grab our stretch band and we're gonna do something called rib cage arms. So I'm gonna lie back on my back. And I'm going to, this is a very traditional Pilates mat exercise. So if you're familiar with this one, you'll know kind of where I'm going. You're gonna squeeze the legs together. So let's draw into the midline. With my hands, I'm starting with my hands really up at my kind of shoulder distance apart. They're not too narrow, they're not too wide yet. If you have a stretch band, you will pull the stretch band apart a couple of inches on either side. The location that you want to pull the stretch band from are the muscles underneath in the armpit. It's really tempting to do it from the deltoids, from the superficial muscles of the top of the shoulder, right? But we don't want that. We want to really engage the muscles underneath, closest to the armpit and the rib cage down, where the arm bone plugs itself into the socket, because that's really what we're trying to strengthen here. We don't need to strengthen our deltoids. So what I'm doing right now is as I'm pulling apart, I'm feeling what's called an isometric tone. So I notice the muscle activate first under my armpits, and then I pull that strap, and I continue to check in with that muscle connection underneath my armpit. Again, it's not the top of the arm and shoulder that we're working the musculature underneath the arm. So then, if you have a solid strap, you'll find your V position on the strap, because my arm's in the shape of a letter V, and you're gonna sustain it, and you're gonna imagine continuing pulling the pinkies apart, but they won't physically go anywhere. That's that isometric piece. So we're doing it here too with our stretch band. On my next exhale, I'm gonna float my arms overhead, but what I'm tracking is the musculature underneath my arms. So again, I am strengthening the muscles that connect my arm bone to my shoulder blade and my shoulder blade to my rib cage without my back arching. And this is about my end range. If I go any further, my back wants to arch. So I'm going to be very particular about making sure that that doesn't happen. And then as I return, I draw my shoulder blade down, and it feels randomly quite challenging because I'm tight. And exhale. My lats are tight, which really want to pull my spine into an arch, but I have a strong core, thank goodness. So I know to keep my back rib cage down, especially right across my heart rate monitor bra strap area, keeping that V shape, pulling down through the underarms. Exhale and returning those arms back up. 4 more. This is going to prepare us for other exercises coming up. Planking for sure, because again, when you hold your plank, it's not just the top of the shoulders and your abs that are working, it's the connectors, right? The core of the shoulder girdle. 3 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Bringing that up. 2 more. Going overhead, maintain the connection. Feel the arm plug into the socket and feel the rib cage really stabilize as your arm moves in that socket. Last one, shoulder blade is staying down and wide. That's one of the huge bones here that's really stable. as I bring my fingers back up. Awesome. Okay, so not hard, but definitely something to practice, right? And it's a great kind of teacher and prep for some of the other exercises we've got coming up. So we're gonna lie back. Your legs are gonna be in tabletop this time. So the last time we were going back into extension and flexion, we had our feet down. This time your legs are up in tabletop. And you're connecting the muscle under the armpit again. That muscle there is called the serratus anterior. There's a lot of muscles that help to stabilize the shoulder girdle, but the one we Pilates teachers love to talk about is the serratus anterior. And it is so important because it is a massive stabilizer for the shoulder blade as that shoulder blade comes and wraps itself around towards the front of the body, which is where it likes to be, but it takes effort to be there. Inhale, come back. Exhale, curling forward, 1. So can you melt that shoulder blade down? Can you feel the muscle under the armpit continue to practice for you and work for you as you go back into extension and curl up into flexion? 3 more, inhale. I'm co-contracting, so I'm engaging the muscles of the deep pelvic floor, deep abdominals, and feeling that kind of spreading or smiling wide of my lower abdomen. Old Pilates cue, but so relevant. 2 more. And last one. Good job. So we're going to stay up here. We're going to use our arms forward and the bolster to help us with our hundreds here. If you'd like, you're going to reach your legs up to the ceiling, or you can start to lengthen them away, obviously more challenging, or keep your legs in tabletop and just reach your arms. And here we go. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So as we're doing these hundreds, 4, 5, I want you to put attention on the muscle under the armpit, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully you're feeling your abdominals. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep reaching through those armpits. 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Reach through those fingertips. Nice firm triceps. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 more. Keep the connection under the arms as your main focus in addition to those abs. 2 more. And exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bend those knees in. Hug your knees into your chest. Nicely done. Come on up. Okay, now we are prepared for the teaser. You ready? This one is not easy. If you were on the reformer, you'd be using, not the reformer, if you were on the Cadillac, you'd be using a bar, the push-through bar. But we don't have a push-through bar because we're obviously on the mat. But we're going to use that same concept, right? So I have something that I am holding. I'm imagining that that something I'm holding is actually going to help me curl up and roll back down. But in order for it to help me, I've got to engage all the right parts. So I'm going to widen through my pinkies. And I'm not just pulling my arms apart. I'm really purposefully engaging the muscle under my armpit. And what it will feel like is kind of a swelling or an expanding right across the back, across the shoulder blades. So now I'm going to bring my right and my left leg back up to tabletop. I am going to float those arms overhead, melting my shoulders and shoulder blades down, still keeping that V. So if I were doing teaser on the Cadillac, I probably wouldn't be reaching my arms overhead, but this is just a preparation for that. Exhale, melt my shoulder blades down. Float my knuckles back up by drawing my shoulder blades down. Once my hands reach past my chest, I nod my head, I keep my abs engaged. I'm going to use momentum, I'm going to kick my legs, I'm going to pray that I come all the way up. And I'm reaching with my arms, and I'm reaching through the muscles under my fingertips, and I'm reaching through the tricep connection. And from the muscles under the arms, I'm going to bend my elbows, and bend my knees, not my elbows, and roll back down. Inhale, float those arms overhead. So let's do 4 more. Exhale, so don't just return the strap. Really melt the shoulder blades down first without arching the back. So feel the connection. Muscles under the arms active. Nod your head, curl up, and reach. Reach through the pinky side of your fingers. Reach to the muscles under your armpits, all the way out through your pinkies. Exhale and slowly roll down. 3 more. Melt the shoulder blades down the back as you float those arms up overhead. Exhale, reach your fingers overhead, nod your head. Curl, ooh, my abs are starting to get tired. Legs coming up, reaching through those pinkies, bending my knees, curling down. 2 more. Inhale. Can you keep the connection under your armpits really active? Keep that V shape from the strength of the serratus anterior, your new favorite muscle. Oh, there I go. Yes, I have to work really hard to get there. And then I'm gonna curl my pelvis under and roll back. Last one. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, melt the shoulder and shoulder blade down. Nod my head and hollow scoop and curl to come up. Inhale and exhale. Bending my elbows and coming down. Whew. Okay, that exercise always gets me, no matter what. Okay, my phone just told me that my battery is low, so I have no idea if that video kept rolling or not. So let's hope it did, because I just did 5 teasers and I'm feeling it, and I hope you did too. All right, so the next thing I'd like to do is work right into our planks. So we're gonna go right into planks. So we're gonna use that connection of the muscles under the arms, and you wanna feel it go all the way to your core, and then that core is supporting your pelvis, so your pelvis doesn't drop when you come to the floor in your plank position. So we're gonna do a couple different variations of planks. Don't have your strap too far away, because we are gonna use it for the last few exercises of our shoulders, all right? So first you're going to just come onto all 4s. Tuck your toes under. Place your hands directly under your shoulders. I'm going to tie my hair back so that you can see a little better and it feels a little better. All right, so I'm going to tuck my toes under and lift my knees off. Just that alone gets me into my core, because I'm pressing into my hands, I'm pressing into my feet, and I'm co-contracting, and then I bring my knees down. Let's do that 2 more times. Exhale. Just that. Can you feel your palms press, feet press, deep abdominal connection? There's your transverse abs. If you're wondering, what are those abdominals? There they are. And bring it down. And last one. Okay, so the first variation you're going to do, go ahead and separate your feet a little bit. You're going to reach just your right arm forward and bring that down. And then your left arm forward and bring it down. But you're maintaining this posture. This is called like a bear plank, because you're in your bent knees on your toes and reaching that right arm forward and bring that back. And reaching the left arm forward and bring it back. The minimalist sway of your spine is what we want. No sway would be ideal. And bring it down and rest. That is a challenging exercise, and it's challenging for the shoulder girdle to maintain and support your body weight with your knees bent in that way. It's harder to just kind of load the joint. Okay, so for the next exercise, you're gonna put your strap under your right knee. And you're gonna choke up on the strap so that when you reach the strap, you will have good tension. And again, as my arm reaches forward, it's not that I don't want to work my deltoids, but I want that to be the main muscle group that I'm working. I'm going to reach my arm forward. I want to feel the connection from my arm down my bicep, but I also want to feel it from the armpit traveling down the back. So I'm going to exhale and inhale, bring it in. Exhale, and I'm in good posture, right? From my tail to my head, I'm in one long line. My support arm, my left arm, is really solid. I'm not locked. I'm not hiding my shoulder up towards my ears. And 2 more. And last one. Okay, now you're gonna add the left leg. So right arm reaches forward, left leg comes back, and bring everything in. Stay neutral. 2, and bring it back. And 3, and bring it back. And 4, and bring it back. Last one, 5, and bring it back. Okay, now you're gonna go right into your tricep exercise before we go to the other side. While I'm doing this, I'm not commenting what's happening on my support arm, but I just want to remind you that that support arm isn't passive. It's actively pressing into the floor. It is helping maintain your shoulder alignment, because without that arm, you would be collapsing. Obviously, you'd be on your face. But without that arm in good alignment, your shoulders are not set up well. So you want to make sure that your support arm is equally participating, because it's got a very, very important job. All right, so I'm holding my strap. I'm squeezing my elbow to my armpit on my right side, and then I'm just 10 tricep presses here. 1, 2, and then we're still working my core like I was in my little bear plank position. 4, in other words, I feel my transverse. 5, I'm kicking in that pelvic floor deep abdominal connection. 6, 7, pulling in my bear cubs if that's my animal. 8, 2 more, 9, last one, 10, and bring it down. Okay, other side. So I'm gonna turn so I can look at you. You don't need to turn, you can just move your strap to the other side. So first, we're in this position, choking up on my strap so I feel just the right amount of tension. It should feel like you're working, right? You don't want it to feel too easy, but you don't want to feel like you can't achieve full extension. So here we go. I'm in a bent position, reaching my left arm forward. 1, pulling down from the muscle under my armpit, even as my arm reaches. 2, we're just doing 5 of these before we add the opposite leg. 3, and 4, last one. 5, here I go. I'm gonna extend my right leg as I reach back through my left arm. 1, 2, ooh, I just caught my right shoulder pulling up to my ear, so I've got to send that right shoulder blade down. 3, 4, last one. 5, and bring it down. Good. Okay, heading right into my triceps on that side. Inhale and exhale, press. 1, 2. I'm going to choke up a little bit more. I can tolerate a little more weight here. 3, or resistance. 4, co-contracting. 5, so really waking up that transverse. 6, 7, the breathing diaphragm is in full operation. 9, and 10, and bring it back down and rest. Okay, so from here we're going to go into just a very simple bicep curl. Nothing super fancy, but just us to balance out the shoulder girdle, so we're not always working just the triceps and the muscles at the root of the armpit, but also in the front. So grabbing your strap, take it a little bit in front of you, and bicep curl. The hardest part of the bicep curl, it's not even particularly hard because this weight isn't heavy, but it's that shoulder stability, right? So you're stabilizing your spine. We know when it's a really heavy weight, that spine really wants to kind of throw itself around, but it's your shoulder staying really stable as your arm bone isolates this motion. So the further your arm is away from your body, the more you have to work your shoulder stabilizers. 6, 7, and 8, 2 more. We're almost done. 9, and 10. Let's go into good old chest expansion, famous chest expansion. In this position, check your alignment. Shoulders are rolled back but not pinned together, and I'm taking my triceps and taking them back in space. 1, pulling in and up through my abdominals. 2, 3, feeling a real complete sense of shoulder girdle. 4, 5, and the benefit of this one is really that chest opening. Like I said, that heavy heart, kind of that stiffened area is starting to get some blood flow. And 9, and really opening symbolically and literally. And 10. Okay, let's lie on our stomachs. Very last exercise. We're gonna go for, I'm gonna call it Wonder Woman. You can call it Wonder Woman or Superman, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to reach my arms up overhead and float, and think my pinky down, thumbs up as I float, and I melt my shoulder blades down, really opening up through my chest. I'm gonna circle my arms all the way back to my toes. And as I do that, it might draw me up a little bit higher, but I'm cautious to not use my back as the lifter, but rather my pubic bone down and my upper back extensor. So it's not my lower back. My lower back is helping to stay nice and long. My upper back, those muscles right at the base of my, the top of my rib cage, I should say, are the ones that are drawing down, not the base of my neck. And then I reach those arms forward again. We're not gonna come down because we just have 2 more. If you need to rest in between, please take care of your body. 2, and really feeling how that shoulder girdle supports this back extension. Keep your pubic bone down, don't come up as high if this is bothering your low back, or omit the exercise altogether. 3, and 4, last one, inhale and exhale. 5, and bring it down, and rest. Shake your hips out, bend your knees, come on up to all fours, round your spine, and gently arch your spine. And you can like round and come back and press forward, and then arch and come back. So it's a moving cat, right? An undulating cat, some people call it. Oh, it feels so good. 1 more. Good. And take a child's pose. Give yourself 3 big breaths here. If you want to walk from one side of your mat to the other, you're welcome to do that. I'm feeling my body have that impulse, so I'm going to go for it. Not only impulse, but desire, right? Impulse means kind of a superficial or surface, I tend to think of. But this is like a deep desire. Big, big, big stretch. And then come back to center. And come all the way up. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoy the video. Practice as much as feels good for you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a wonderful day.